Hello guys, this is Vysh. So economics NCERT, we had started it 2 weeks back, and I had asked you to give a response based on which I'll decide whether I have to continue or I have to give it to some other teacher, and it will remain free as all our other lectures also. This also will be free, and this is the second chapter of class ninth. Okay, so please see to it that you are watching the first chapter before watching this particular episode. And regarding test series, batch 1 and 2 is already closed, and this is batch number 3. So in batch 3, the enrollments have actually stopped. And now this week, the mains test series of batch 1 is starting. So anybody, if you missed or if you have enrolled only to prelims and you want to upgrade it to mains or something, you have to contact me in the next 1 or 2 days. Okay, because mains test series answer writing for batch 1 is starting this weekend. Okay. Now the chapters, this is the first chapter which we discussed, and now the second chapter, people as resources, okay, which is like equal to human resources. That is what we are going to discuss here. So please hit a subscribe and like button so that we feel that you are actually watching it, and we can increase the speed of the videos. And this chapter is very, very important for your prelims and mains, because this includes topics like human capital, education, healthcare, unemployment, rural development, and these are all your GS1, GS2 mains topics also, in which you have to write a lot of answers. So that is why this is a very, very important chapter. Okay, so please pay attention. Only when you read this class 9 properly, class 10, 11, 12 and all will be easy to understand. Okay, and you get a lot of points to write essays and all from this particular book itself. So please make notes also. And polity, many are asking like why we are not continuing. After fourth chapter, we have not continued because the response have been very poor. Okay, if it starts with 1000+ views, then it ends in 278 views by the fourth chapter. So there is no point of doing the remaining chapter. So please go and view this, give a like and comment that please continue this, or what is the feedback, or anything mistake is there, anything you want to point out. Based on your likes and comments, then only we'll continue that particular playlist. Okay, so it's all ready. It's not a big thing to study or teach NCERT. It's all very simple chapters, but you have to support us, okay, because we are doing it entirely free of cost. I'll show you 3 questions first, UPSC questions, which are based on today's chapter. So UPSC Prelims 2018 had a question: human capital formation as a concept is better explained in terms of a process which enables which are the following: individuals of a country to accumulate more capital, increasing the knowledge, skill levels, capacities of people of the country, accumulation of tangible wealth, accumulation of intangible wealth. This is one of the easiest question also, because of the way statements and options have been given. So you try that. Now question which came recently 2022, for which answer key is not yet out. This is actually asking which one of the following compiles information on industrial disputes, closures, retrenchments, layoffs in factories, employing workers, all these things. Who is the one who compiles this information? CSO, or this Commerce Ministry Department, Labor Bureau, or National Technical Manpower Information System. Okay, so this is the ABCD type question. If you know it, you can attempt, or if you want to take a logical guess, then also you can do. Or if you have no idea, please don't attempt these kind of questions, because ABCD questions are the ones which always turns out to be wrong. Okay, your intuition and gut feeling, everything will go wrong when you simply take an attempt. Now again, there is a question which was 2021, answer key came, and this answer key differed from what most of the coaching institutes have told. So this one, with reference to the casual workers employed in India, consider the following statement: all casual workers are entitled to employees' provident fund coverage. All casual workers are entitled to regular working hours and overtime payment. The government can, by notification, specify that an establishment or industry shall pay wages only through its bank account. So these are 3 statements, and if you eliminate one, answer is very easy. Or if you think all of them are true, answer is 1, 2, 3. So this one, at the end of this video, if I can, I will discuss, else you have to tell me in comment section. Okay, because these are all previous year questions, for which I already have another playlist of series where I have discussed each question with explanation. Okay, after 2020 it is there, 2021 is ongoing, and 2022 also I will do once the answer key comes, official answer key comes. So this is already there in different playlists. So please try to answer in comment section. Okay, because only if you participate, you yourself will improve every day. And for lectures, people keep asking like after foundation what I have to do. You simply have to follow our timetable, which is there free of cost in YouTube. In that timetable I have told, first 10 days read NCERT, then 10 days read Spectrum, then 10 days the Polity. There are different ways of reading. So whichever subject you need, free lectures are there. Simply have to type after the keyword Vysh IAS, like Vysh IAS NCERT, Vysh IAS Polity, Vysh IAS History, whatever you want, search it, the playlist will come. Okay, most of them are in English, the older ones are in English, and now in Hinglish language also, Hindi plus English, we have started the NCERT series. Okay, history has been started now, like the geography, polity, everything will come in the coming days. But you have to see to it that you give like and comments, and then all these playlists which you see on screen: Spectrum, Tamil Nadu textbook, Nithin Singhania, Fine Arts, Polity, Shankar IAS, Geography, all these things we are going to continue free of cost. Okay, but you have to keep supporting us. Okay, this is I think the biggest free channel actually, where textbooks are completed in totality, not like simply show 2-3 videos of sample and then remaining as paid course. It's not like that. It's completely free, all these textbooks. Paid courses, only test series is there, and paid classes also for 2024 we are planning dedicated mentorship batches that will be announced later. Okay, after the 2023 prelims, that time we'll think about that. But now, as of now, everything is free on this channel. Okay, so first we will see a statement, a population, which we always tell, population is an asset, okay, as an asset for the economy rather than a liability, because most people, including our governments in the olden days, used to think that population is an asset. Okay, because you have to, even many countries do that. They are bringing in policies to control population, and many things are there. It has to be curbed and it has to be like steps have to be taken. But if you see it as a liability always, then you will never have any progress. Instead, if you see it as an asset or a strength for your nation and give them the proper training and proper things, then we can actually grow faster. Okay, and that is what exactly in the last few years it is happening. Okay, the skill development and the different schemes you see, including like right from street vendors up till the scientist level, anywhere you see there are a lot of fund being pushed into training them. Okay, not only training within India, training outside also. We have a skill development MOU signed with Japan also, where around I think 3,000 workers from India are sent there, and they are going to give the training, because the demographic dividend concept, which you will study in the coming classes, which is the population. Okay, India is at the most advantage now. Okay, the most youth population in the world is there in India. Okay, so if they are trained properly, we can recruit them across the world and also for India's growth, and it will increase or reflect in our GDP. That and all you will see in this particular chapter. So many things you will see repetitive, because NCERT always tells in a very simplistic way and very like what is a story kind of format. So please pay attention. Okay, population becomes human capital when there is investment made in the form of education, training, and medical care. Okay, for all these we have separate slides also later, so we'll see. So human capital is the stock of skill and productive knowledge embodied in them. Okay, so you have skill, you have productive knowledge, then the human capital. Okay, which actually one question also I showed you in the like UPSC question. What does human capital include? You can answer this by the end of this video. People as a resource, as this chapter tells, it's a way of referring to a country's working people in terms of their existing productive skills and abilities. Now, looking at the population from this productive aspect emphasizes its ability to contribute to the creation of GNP, gross national product. So what is GDP, what is GNP and all? Already I've explained in one of the video. If you see, simply search Vysh IAS GDP. Okay, in YouTube simply type Vysh IAS GDP. Immediately this video will come where I've explained the clear conceptual difference between GDP, GNP and all. And this is actually part of paid test series, video explanation of my test I am giving this. Okay, so one sample, okay, one question sample I put here. So this is what people will get if they had actually enrolled. Okay, extended version, meaning YouTube get free lectures, but in test series and all, it will be a little more dedicated, a little more focused to make the student get more knowledge to clear the prelims. Okay, so like other resources, population is also a resource, which is a human resource. This is the positive side of a large population that is often overlooked when we look only at the negative side, considering only the problems of providing the population with food, education and access to health facilities. So it is always the way in which you look at it. Okay, like is it like population where we have to simply keep giving them food and health and all these things, or we have to train them and then use them for the nation's development? Okay, when the existing human resource is further developed by becoming more educated and healthy, we call it human capital formation. That adds to the productive power of the country, just like physical capital formation. If you remember in the last chapter, we learned like land, labor, capital. Okay, here you can see land, labor, capital. These three are the things which we studied in chapter 1. Okay, so now entrepreneurship or the human capital, that is what we are discussing. Okay, so physical capital and human capital both are equally important. Actually, human capital is more important, and that you will learn now. So investment in human capital through education, training and medical care yields a return just like investment in physical capital. Okay, this can even be like a GS3 question or GS2 question, or they can just put this statement and tell elaborate. So where you have to answer in such a way that answer should not look very complicated. You have to involve some current affairs schemes and you have to take notes from this basic NCERT only. That itself will give you a very beautiful answer. So this can be seen directly in the form of higher incomes earned because of higher productivity of the more educated or the better trained persons. So again, if you see same thing they are repeating, but in a little more one extra point you gain when you go through each slide. So not only do the more educated and healthier people gain through higher incomes, society also gains in other indirect ways, because the advantages of a more educated or healthier population spreads to those also who themselves were not directly educated. Okay, meaning one person is educated, they will educate their family also, their children also. So it actually it spreads through the society. So it's not just individual gain and individual income, it is actually the overall societal gain. In fact, human capital is in one way superior to other resources like land and physical capital. Okay, in the 4 factors which we studied, human capital is the most superior one. Human resource can make use of this land and capital. Okay, land and capital cannot become useful on its own. So you need what? You need the human resource. That is why it is superior. For many decades in India, a large population has been considered a liability rather than an asset. But a large population need not be a burden for the economy. Okay, these are all proven by countries like Japan and all. So that also I'll show you the best countries who have used their human population well. Full ranking I'll show you. So it can be turned into a productive asset by investment in human capital. For example, by spending on education and health, training of industrial and agricultural workers, using modern technology, scientific research, all these things. Several years of education add to the quality of labor. This enhances total productivity, and the total productivity adds to the growth of the economy. This in turn pays an individual through salary or in some other form of his choice, meaning you actually become more free to do, because it's not about just earning money or just getting a degree. Okay, it's about having that financial freedom, having that ability to decide which career you want or where you want to go. It's not like because your father was a farmer, you also have to be a farmer. Father is maybe a tailor or teacher, then you also have to do that. It's not like that. You have education means you have the choice also to choose which path you want to go. Okay, so because individual growth means country's growth also. So everywhere, everybody has to participate. So now we'll see nation-wise also. This graph, if you see, engineers per 10,000 workers, Japan's graph is the highest. Okay, whichever you take, always Japan and European countries will come highest only. But this is an NCERT graph I wanted to show you. So how and why, we'll see now. So investment in human resource, again, they're telling education, medical care can give high rates of return in future. The investment of people is the same as investment in land and capital. A child too, with investments made on her education and health, can yield a high return in future in the form of higher earnings and greater contribution to society. Now, educated parents are found to invest more heavily on the education of their child. Why? Because they have understood what all benefits they get through education. Okay, you would have always noticed, like if a parent is maybe 10th standard pass or 12th standard pass, and everybody in the village is not even qualified that much, those parents will again invest more in the education of children, so that they can become an engineer or maybe something little more higher than them. Okay, but the others who were lesser than 10th standard and all, they will still not be like educating their children as much as these people will do. So parents educated means children also gets educated, meaning just next generation get educated. So this is because they have realized the importance of education. They also they are also conscious of proper nutrition and hygiene. Okay, because when you go to schools, when you see people, when you come out of that shell, okay, because if you live in the same point or same village every time, you don't know what is happening outside, you don't explore the world, or you don't know anything, then you will not know all these things, like what is the importance of nutrition, hygiene, how are people living outside. Okay, they accordingly look after children's need for education at school and good health also. Now, here they have written a virtuous cycle is thus created. Okay, always you would have heard the term called vicious cycle. Okay, vicious cycle of poverty, vicious cycle of hunger. That is actually a negative thing. Okay, meaning it is like people are born poor, then they will live poor, then they will die poor. Okay, it's like a vicious cycle. But when one person is educated, then a virtuous cycle is getting created, where the next generation will not have to suffer the same thing which the parent has done. Okay, so that virtuous cycle and vicious cycle is one term which I saw interesting, which I wanted to tell you. Okay, so in contrast, a vicious cycle may be created by disadvantaged parents who themselves uneducated, lacking in hygiene, keeping their children in similar disadvantaged stage. Okay, so we have to avoid vicious cycle and move on to virtuous cycle. Now, countries like Japan, if you see the pictures and all, have invested in human resource. They did not have any natural resources. They imported the natural resources needed in their country. But how did they become rich? They invested on people instead. Okay, because they anyway don't have any resources. Everything they have to import from here and there. So what they had is people. So they invested on the people. Okay, we see right from school level, the Japanese schools are one of the best thing. Okay, the children and all, they are taught not only learning by books and all. They are etiquettes, manners, cleanliness, cleaning their own school, or planting trees. Many things are taught from the childhood. Okay, so in the field of education and health, they have grown much bigger than any other country. Okay, they have made efficient use of their resources like others make use of land and capital. Now, efficiency and technology evolved by people have made these countries rich and developed. So this, if you see, is the Human Development Index average of 1980 to 2020. Okay, go and try to find out who releases this HDI also, Human Development Index. So here, if you see, all these are good countries who have been always in the top 10 rank, top 30 rank and all. So 1 to 10 rank, if you see, it's like Norway, Ireland, Switzerland, Iceland, all these European countries you will see. okay, European, Scandinavian countries and all, then you will see this Singapore, UK, Belgium, New Zealand, Canada, USA, everything. You won't see like India or China or any Central Asian countries and all. Here in this graph also you can see whichever is green and light green and all, these are all done well, okay. And if you see the other one, India and all is in yellow, Pakistan and all is in like orange. So it's like going backwards. If Africa, if you see, it's orange and red, and also there and all, human development is not very good, okay. So if it is a UN report, if it is a World Bank report, that is what you have to see, okay, because we see many reports which are coming recently, which will purposely put India in the rank like even below Afghanistan, below Iran, below Sri Lanka and Pakistan, which are in debt now. So please don't believe those things, because that are done by private NGOs, okay, private NGOs which are actually having that anti-India stance, okay. But you will never see India's rank going down in the global multilateral institutions like UN report or World Economic Forum, or if you see the World Bank, IMF, all these people are seeing the growth of India, okay. It's not like India is going to change in one day and everything will become like USA or any like Japan, okay. But over the years we are actually progressing, okay. That anybody who actually prepare for UPSC, they will know, because they are learning all the reports, they are seeing all the schemes, so they will actually know, but the common people may not know. So please educate others also. When you see like why our rank is low in certain indexes which comes recently, the rank is very, very pathetic, okay. So that is actually not what India deserve, and that's why Indian government, India's external affairs minister, everybody openly rejects it. At the UN they tell it like, we don't care about such reports, because they are done by just interviewing some 10-15 people. They don't have a proper methodology, proper statistics, nothing, okay. So now coming back, next topic is sectors of economy. So you know there is something called primary, secondary, tertiary sectors, about which UPSC questions every year comes, okay. One mains question always comes. So that examples I'll tell you. So primary sector means something directly with the nature or raw material, okay, like agriculture, forestry, animal husbandry, fishing, poultry farming, mining, quarrying, all these are directly with the nature or from the source, you can tell, okay. So that is primary sector. Secondary means you are now manufacturing something, or you are going to the next level from the primary, okay. So that is called the secondary. Tertiary sector means trade, transport, communication, banking, means it's kind of a service sector, you can tell, okay. A little bit of office work, a little bit of white collar jobs, that kind of things and all comes in the tertiary sector, okay. Now the activities in this sector result in the production of goods and services. These activities add value to the national income. These activities are called economic activities. So now economic activities itself have two things. One is market activities and one is non-market activities. So market activities involve remuneration to anyone who performs, okay, meaning there is a payment or profit involved in market activities. These include production of goods or services, including the government service. Now, non-market means it is production for self-consumption, meaning like suppose farmer is growing something and he is consuming like his daily lunch and dinner, that's all. He is not exporting anything, he is not transferring any surplus anywhere, nothing. So that self-consumption thing, that is called non-market activity, okay. So this is a very simple thing, market and non-market, but because it's an NCERT, you can mention in your answers and all where it is asked about primary sector, secondary sector, or economic different groupings, okay. So all these things are okay to be mentioned in answers. Now primary, secondary, tertiary is mentioned in NCERT. This is the fourth one which is not mentioned. So that is the quaternary sector, which is now the new one, okay, like information, IT, ICT, the new development services, financial services, banking, which is like an extended version of tertiary, you can tell, but the most modern one, okay, that is the quaternary sector. So just an extra point which is not mentioned in NCERT. Now we'll see different things, like what is the problem of women they are facing, or what is like health, unemployment, many things are there. In 3-4 slides we'll wind up the video. So due to historical and cultural reasons, there is a division of labor between men and women in the family. Women generally look after domestic work and men work in the field. Women are not paid for the services delivered for upbringing of the family. We already have a playlist actually, okay, of Indian society, in which we have discussed all these things, okay. Whatever pictures you see, all are there in our lecture already, which is complete. So you can search Vysh IAS Indian society, you will get all these lectures. So the household work done by women is not recognized in the national income, okay. Again, national income, GDP, all these things, as I told, other video you can watch, or in the upcoming classes when it comes, I will tell you here. So men earns money which he spends on rearing his family. Women are paid for their work when they enter the labor market, okay. In case they get into job, they are given, okay. So it varies also. Sometimes they are paid lesser, okay. If you see in the entertainment industry and all, the male will get more and the female will get lesser. But in IT jobs and all, the male and female both gets equal, okay. So that varies based on your education, skill, and the sector in which you are working. Now, education helps individual to make better use of the economic opportunity available before him. Okay, education and skill are the major determinants of the earning of any individual in the market. A majority of women have like poor education, meager education, and low skill formation. Women are paid low compared to men. So most women work where this job security is also not there. So there are many problems, okay, which women face extra compared to men, okay, and still they are paid less also. So the things has to change, means it's not like only give them education. The government also has to do take care of their security or their other needs which they have. Okay, that is why the maternity bill which was passed 2 years back and all is having a very big or updated extended clauses compared to the previous version. Okay, the amended one is a better thing with more number of leaves for them, more number of days they can stay with the child. There are many other things. Okay, so that way the government is actually taking steps, but it has to continue. Okay, it has to stay updated all the time. Now, in this sector, there is an absence of basic facilities like maternity leave, childcare, and other social security system. However, women with high education and skill formation are paid on par with men. So again, education is what is making the difference among them in their level. Now, among the organized sector, teaching and medicine are the main jobs which attracts them, because there they are getting equal pay or even more pay. And now, including you, many are trying to get into administrative jobs and many other scientific and technological jobs. So that is where the world is heading to. Women are doing equal to men and much better than men in most of the sectors. Okay, so this is about the women and men differences. Now, the next topic we will do is the education. So quality of population, there is a term in NCERT. It depends upon the literacy rate. Okay, literacy rate, health of a person indicated by life expectancy and skill formation acquired by the people of the country. So all of this, if it's good only, we tell we have a qualitative or quality kind of population. The quality of population ultimately decides the growth rate of the country. Literate and healthy population are an asset. So education contributes towards the growth of society also. It enhances the national income, cultural richness, increases the efficiency of governance. If you see these kind of statements, if you type in your opening line of an answer and all, it gives a good impression to the examiner. Instead of telling very complicated quotes and other things and all, you can use simplistic sentences, meaning the sentence should be short, but in that short sentence still you are covering various aspects. Okay, income also, culture richness also, efficiency also. So that gives a very good opening line or even a concluding line. So always try to practice your answer writing starting with NCERT content. Okay. There is a provision made for providing universal access, retention and quality in elementary education with a special emphasis on girls. There is also an establishment of pace setting of schools like Navodaya Vidyalaya in each district. Okay, so this is also one initiative being done. Now, vocational streams are also there where your skill development or job oriented things and all is taught. So now when the new bill, okay, the National Education Bill 2022, that policy gets implemented, a lot of change is going to happen, because we all have been studying the same 10+2 model. Okay, I mean up to 10th standard you have to definitely study no matter what you want to become or what do you care. And now it is going to change, okay, to that 5+3+4 kind of system. Okay, meaning after 5th standard itself you will be separated. Okay, it's not like till 10th you have to mandatorily study the same thing. So after that till 8th standard is a different thing. Then after that till 10th standard is a different thing. So you will be slowly moving into vocational thing, meaning if you have already decided you have to become a doctor or something, then you have to study more oriented to that, not more of history and other things. And if you want to become a UPSC person, then you have to do more of history and geography, polity and other things, and you don't need much of sciences. So depending on where you want to go, that way the teaching will change. Okay, so that is how the education system will change from 10+2 to the 5+2+3 kind of that model. Okay, so now the plan outlay on education has increased from rupees 151 crore in the first plan to 99,300 crore in the 2020-21. So this kind of statistics, okay, which is in NCERT, should be always present in your mains answers. Please make a note of all these things. Okay, the latest one. And when the economic survey and budget comes, you will get the 2022 one also, the latest one you will get. The expenditure on education is a percentage of as a percentage of GDP has rose from 0.64% in 1951-52 to 3.1% in 2019-20. That even now it is like that only 3.1% it is, but we have to increase it to at least 5% or 6%. Okay, that the government is targeting by 2030, I think. Now the education 2030 framework, okay, for action endorses this indicator as a key benchmark for government financing of education, allocating at least 4 to 6% of GDP. The literacy rate have increased from 18% in 1951 to 85% in 2018. Okay, so now also if you see, I think around 87% it is. So this one, this line is actually not there in NCERT. I have put it extra just to show you the new 2030 framework. Okay, Now, literacy is not only a right, it is also needed if the citizens are to perform their duties and enjoy their rights properly. So this also can be just a statement in GS2 question and they will tell elaborate. So you have to explain from this chapter only. However, a vast difference is noticed across different sections of the population. Literacy among male is nearly 16.1% higher than the females, and about 14.2% higher in urban. Meaning, from region to region, from gender to gender, the literacy rate is not uniform. Okay, and state-wise also, if you see, 2011 was the last census we had. The latest one did not happen because of various issues, including COVID. So, 94% in Kerala and 62% in Bihar. Okay, and primary school system, that is 1 to 5, has expanded to over these many lakh in 2019-20. Unfortunately, this huge expansion of schools have been diluted by the poor quality of schooling and high dropout rates. Okay, meaning many are joining, but many are not completing it. Okay, this is again one graph from the newspaper, extra thing I am showing you. Kerala, Delhi, Uttarakhand, all these are in the highest literacy rate, top 5, and this UP, Telangana, Bihar, and the bottom 5. Okay, so this all keeps changing, but in the top ones will be mostly same only. Okay, most of the time top will remain same only. So you can use it in your answers. So right to education, we have much more umbrella kind of schemes now, in which even Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is merged into. But in NCERT, they have mentioned about this. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is a significant step towards providing elementary education to all the children in the age group of 6 to 14 years by 2010. This is how it was started. Okay. It is a time-bound initiative of the central government in partnership with the states, the local government, and the community for achieving the goal of universalization of elementary education. Okay, so if you see, it's a very simple one line which sums up the entire definition of that scheme. Okay, this is how you have to write. Instead of writing 10-15 points, if you have wrote this one line which explains everything, that in a very simple language, UPSC will give you more marks. Okay, now along with it, bridge courses and back to school camps have been initiated to increase the enrollment in elementary education. Even midday meal scheme was done for that only, because when food is there, okay, one nutritious food is there, then there is a tendency that the parents will send the children regularly to school, because at their home they may not have the facility for that. So at least that child get the best nutritious food, they send their child. Midday meal scheme. Now many states have even started the breakfast kind of scheme also, meaning breakfast also will be given, which is by the state. Midday meal will be given by the center. So like that, this is going to happen. So then more enrollment will come. Okay, there are 2-3 states which have done this recently. So try to find out which are that states. These policies could add to the literate population of India. Over the past 60 years, there has been a significant growth in the number of university and institution of higher learning in specialized areas. Okay, so there is a term gross enrollment ratio, GER, in the age group of 18 to 23 is 27% in 2019-20. Okay, so which would be broadly in line with the world average. So we are not doing great and all, but world average also like that, so we are doing almost equal to that. The strategy focuses on increasing access, quality, adoption of state-specific curriculum modification, vocationalization, and networking on the use of IT, information technology. There is also a focus on distant education, convergence of formal, non-formal, distance and IT educational institutions. Okay, so there is trying to bring everything in one basket, and everywhere enrollment ratio has to be increased. So this is an NCERT table. You can see from 1950s to 2020 how the number of colleges, universities, students, teachers, everything has improved. Okay, or increased, you can tell. So these are data taken from this UGC annual report. And about this you will learn later. Okay, Ministry of HRD, now which is Ministry of Education. So all these things you will again learn. Okay, provisional data from All India Survey on Higher Education. These surveys and all comes every year, so you have to know. Okay, in my current affair magazine I always give the updated statistics, so please follow the test series also. That is about education. Now if you take healthcare, okay, which now COVID time and all, the doctors have been always needed, and they have been given their due respect also. The government is also doing what can be done. So health of a person helps him to realize his or her potential and the ability to fight illness. He or she will not be able to maximize his or her output to the overall growth of the organization. Okay, if your health is not good. Indeed, health is an indispensable basis for realizing one's well-being. So improvement in health status of the population has been the priority of the country. Our national policy too aims at improving the accessibility of healthcare, family welfare, all these things. Okay, there are different types also. We will learn later. Primary health center, then there is the secondary level, tertiary level, meaning up to the AIMS level. Okay, the medical college level from the primary center. That is a different thing. Different villages will have different types. And now AIMS also is like increasing even in Jammu and Kashmir, or wherever we thought AIMS will not exist ever. Such places also AIMS hospitals are being constructed. Okay. Over the last 5 decades, India has built a vast health infrastructure and also has developed the manpower required at all these sectors in the government, okay, and private sector also. Now, there are some definitions. Infant mortality rate is the death of a child below 1 year of age. Okay, infant mortality rate means the death of a child below 1 year of age. Birth rate means number of babies born for every 1,000 people during a particular period of time. Okay, for every 1,000 people, how many number of babies are born? Death rate is the number of people per 1,000 who die during a particular period of time. So everything is like per 1,000. Okay, that's the only thing you have to remember. Per 1,000, how many babies are born? Per 1,000, how many people are dying? And then 1 year below age is the infant mortality rate. Okay. The measures which have been adopted have increased the life expectancy to over 69.7 years in 2022. Okay, in NCERT it's given a little lesser. I have taken the latest data of 2022. So 69.7 we have reached. Okay, which is again lesser. Many countries are there which you have like 80, 90, 100 and all. So that is why we have to again work on it. Infant mortality rate, which you saw definition, has come down from 147 in 1951 to 36 in 2020. Crude birth rates have dropped to 20 and death rates to 6 within the same duration of time. So all these things which actually should reduce and drop down, it's actually happening. Okay, life expectancy should increase and these three things should decrease. Okay, only then we can tell our health sector is improving. So increase in life expectancy and improvement in childcare are useful in assessing the future progress of the country. Increase in longevity of life is an indicator of good quality of life marked by self-confidence. Now, reduction in infant mortality involves the protection of children from infection, ensuring the nutrition of both the mother and child childcare. So this is based on National Health Profile 2021, which is in Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and the data is given by this Office of Registrar General and Census Commission, which is under Ministry of Home Affairs. This is what you have to know. The Census Commission Registrar General is under Ministry of Home Affairs. Okay. There are many places in India which do not have even basic facilities. There are only 542 medical colleges in the country and 313 dental colleges. Now, we see 4 important states where there are maximum number of medical colleges: Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. So, if you see 3 of them are in South India and then Maharashtra you can tell West India. Okay, so these are the places where maximum number of medical colleges are there as per NCERT data. In future, we hopefully will see everywhere such big medical facilities coming in. Okay. Now, the last topic or second last topic I think is unemployment, which is a major issue in our country. So, unemployment is said to exist when people who are willing to work at the going wages cannot find a job, meaning they are all willing to work but there is no job. In case of India, we have unemployment in rural and urban areas. Okay. However, the nature of employment differs in rural and urban areas. In case of rural area, there is seasonal and disguised unemployment. Okay, we'll discuss what is this. So, there is seasonal and disguised unemployment in rural area. And urban area, we have educated unemployment. Okay. Now, seasonal unemployment happens when people are not able to find jobs during some months of the year. Okay. Meaning some months they have work, some months they don't have work. People dependent on agriculture usually face this kind of problem because they, in their season time they will do, and after it's harvested, then they have no job for many years, especially when there's no rain or when there is no weather supporting, then they have no job. Certain busy seasons when this thing is there, and after that they do not get the work. Okay, same thing which I told. Now, disguised unemployment, people appear to be unemployed. People appear to be, okay, they have agriculture plot where they find work. This usually happens when family members engage in the agricultural activity. Suppose you need just 5 people to do the work. Okay, but because the family has 8 people, all 8 of them are in the field and they are doing something or the other. Actually, which 5 people could have done, 8 people are simply doing it slowly. So that is actually called disguised unemployment. That extra 3 people, right? The extra 3 people is said to be under disguised unemployment. Okay, because their work is actually not adding to any productivity. They are simply doing the work and actually slowing down the work. Okay, so the productivity of the field will not decline even if we remove those 3 people. So that is the disguised unemployed 3 people. Okay. In case of urban area, there is educated unemployment. That is, many youth with matriculation, graduation and post-graduation are not being able to find the job. Okay, because there are no much government jobs, the vacancies are going on reducing, the private companies also, they have a limit of taking. So it varies. Okay, either government has to increase a lot of vacancies, or they have to give more capital investment into private companies and other things where they can take in more people. Okay, if you see the biggest companies, they will have like any IT company you take, they'll be employing maybe up to 1 lakh people, 2 lakh people and all they'll be employing depending on how big the company is. So both public and private sector has to contribute, only then unemployment can be solved. Now there are more types actually, I'll show you all those things. These are the things. Now, whatever I showed you is NCERT data. Now, I'm showing you non-NCERT data, extra information. Okay. So, there is cyclic unemployment, seasonal, I already told you. frictional unemployment, educated I already told you, then technical is also kind of same, technical unemployment, structural unemployment, disguised unemployment. Okay, so this also simple way I'll tell you. Structural unemployment occurs because of an absence of demand for a certain type of worker. This typically happens when there are mismatches between the skill employer want and the skill that workers have, meaning they are not fitting into the structure. Okay, like very basic example and all you can take. If suppose one person was selling this video cassette, okay, once upon a time, and maybe 10 years, 20 years continuously, that was his life. Okay, video cassette. Now when CDs came, that person will obviously, if he don't upgrade it to CD knowledge or CD writing and DVD writing, all these things, if he don't understand, then he will stay unemployed only. You should be able to shift to the changing structure. Okay, now CD also gone. After that, next thing will come. OTT platform is coming. Everything when changes, they should be able to adopt. They cannot tell like my family business is video cassette only, I will do video cassette. You cannot tell that. Okay, so the structure changes. You also have to change, else you will remain unemployed. Now, frictional unemployment is the basic thing, meaning one person is quitting an old job and going into a new job. So that temporary phase in which people are staying unemployed, right? That is called frictional one. Frictional unemployment is when workers are jobless and looking for work in a healthy economy, whether they leave voluntarily or are fired, meaning either you are thrown out of the job or you're quitting and then looking for it by doing a course or something in between. That phase is called frictional unemployment. Okay. So this is a part of normal labor turnover. It's a normal thing only. Then cyclic is there. The economy regularly goes through ups and downs when it enters a recession. So that time, more people becomes unemployed. The business cycle is there, no? By business cycle, the boom and then the dip. Okay, dip in the economy and the boom in the economy. So that time, obviously, people will be firing. Now, if you see the biggest edtech companies and all, they are like recently, I think 2,500 people they are fired. Okay, I'm not naming anyone, but they are thrown out these many people because in the COVID time and online time, these online education channels and all boosted like anything. They got that much investment. They threw a lot of money, acquisitions, everything they did. But now when Corona is ended, everybody are again shifting to offline. They are not interested much in learning this online paid big tablet courses and all these things. So the company is now forced to cut down, okay, the salaries, and they have to throw out people. So that time and all, unemployment can come. Okay, when there is a boom or this thing in the change in cycle, that time you have to throw out people. So that time what unemployment comes is cyclical unemployment. So these three are extra things which I told you, which is not there in NCERT. Now the last thing I think, which is about people, labor and the rural development. So a paradoxical manpower situation is witnessed as surplus of manpower in certain category coexist with shortage of manpower in others. Okay, meaning there is some places where there is surplus of manpower, lot of laborers, and some places there is shortage of manpower in our country. So there is unemployment among technically qualified person on one hand, while there is a dearth of technical skills required for economic growth. Unemployment leads to wastage of manpower resource. People who are an asset of the economy now turns into liability. There is a feeling of hopelessness and despair among the youth. People do not have enough money to support their family. Inability of educated people who are willing to work to find gainful employment implies a great social waste. Okay. Unemployment tends to increase the economic overload. So this is again same thing, but in a very like simplistic sentences they are giving. So in your mains answers also, you can write like this, very simple sentences. But it should not be too much, storytelling kind of thing. It should stick to the point. When a family has to live on bare subsistence level, there is a general decline in its health status also and rising withdrawal from the school system. So we were in the previous slide telling give education, give health and all these things and you will get into good job and good economy. Now when that job itself throws you out, you will see slowly you are not able to afford healthcare, you are not able to send your children to better school. So it will show a decline. So it's actually a reversal of what we studied till now. Hence unemployment is a detrimental impact on the overall growth of an economy. Increase in unemployment is an indicator of a depressed economy. This also can be a statement and UPSC will tell elaborate, justify, elucidate. They will tell whatever keyword they want. Okay. It also wastes the resources which could have been gainfully employed. If people cannot be used as a resource, they naturally appear as a liability to the economy. In case of India, statistically the unemployment rate is low. Okay, number wise if you take, there are much more countries where unemployment is very high. A large number of people represented with low income and productivity are counted as employed. They appear to work throughout the year. But in terms of potential and income, it is not adequate for them. Okay, so even though we say like many are employed, their salaries are not enough for them to survive. So that is why unemployment rate numbers we should not go for. We should see whether everybody is able to have a proper life where they can sustain, okay, with proper health and education and all these things. The work that they are pursuing seems forced upon them. They may therefore want other work of their choice. So people also cannot afford to sit idle. They engage activity irrespective of earning potential. Their earning keeps them on bare subsistence level, meaning people, when they don't get any job, they tend to do something, whatever they get, but that actually is not enough for them. And in primary sector, the agriculture and all these things, most of the time it is self-employment. The whole family contributes in the field, and even though not everybody is really needed, that is what I told you, disguised unemployment. Now the concept of sharing this one, everything will change later, because you always don't need this thing. People also will realize that actually what is the point, we 8 people, 10 people working on the field, we are not getting any income. So then only this thing starts, the surplus labor starts to migrate from the village in search of jobs. That's when they go to the town and cities and all. So agriculture is the most labor absorbing sector of the economy. In recent years, there has been a decline in the dependence of population on agriculture, partly because of disguised unemployment. So people are actually understanding that, and they are moving out. And also some gets jobs, and now there are this skill development and all these things going on, Pradhan Mantri Yojanas and all are there. So if that and all works properly, then we can train these people and allow them to start their own small whatever this thing they want to do. Okay, small scale industries, which you call. So they can either work there as labor, or even they start their own small kind of ventures. Okay, there are many things which are going on, but people are not aware. Okay, many things, many reasons, like why India is not developing is that government simply launches schemes, but it doesn't reach the ground level. It is not communicated properly to the state. Even if state knows it, state is not transferring that, because it is like going to boost the central government. Most of the states won't tell that to the people also, or they will just repackage it in their own name or their own this thing, and then modify all the things. Half of the fund doesn't reach the people. So only thing in India is the implementation problem. We have a lot of schemes, we have a lot of manpower, everything is there, but we don't have proper implementation which is going on. Okay, hopefully it will change in the coming years. Now, secondary sector, small scale manufacturing is there. That is where most of the labor is there. In tertiary sector, new things, as I told. If you are educated, you move into biotechnology, IT, and other things. So this is the last slide, rural development, a story of a village they have given. Okay, where there is a lot of families are there, and they used to not do any other job. Meaning they don't go out of the town. They are living there itself. They are feeding their own members by making their own clothes and teaching their own children. Meaning no schools, no education, no healthcare, no this thing. Everything is done locally. Okay. But one of the family, they decide to send his son to an agricultural college, and then what happens is he qualified in agro engineering and came back to the village. So now he knows much better things, and he knows how to make use of the plow, or the improved use of plow, the high variety seeds, or how to increase the yield of the crops, everything. Okay, so you see that one person starts changing in his family, and obviously that will have a impact. Okay, so a new job called agro engineer for the first time started in their village. Okay, meaning people came to know about it. Now this will when this person's family is growing more yield, they will obviously have surplus, which they will start selling, meaning they will get extra good profit, and this will obviously be seen by the other people, and then the meeting will happen. Okay, the village people, everyone will meet, and then they will decide whether we have to or how to implement this everywhere. Okay, because everybody wants a better future for their children. So the panchayat, they will request, panchayat will want to open a school. So panchayat themselves cannot do, they will go and contact the government will open a school there. Then the teacher will be there. So for that, teachers will come from other nearby towns who are qualified. So like that, if you see, an agro engineer post started, now a teacher post started, and schools are coming, and then girls are now maybe educated. So like that, small changes happen. Okay. And one of the family, they like tailoring, they taught their daughter. Okay, so a tailor job starts. So they are slowly showing you, just for a 9th standard people's knowledge, they are put this NCERT language. So they start stitching cloth and all that, like that. They have now different jobs created, and all this adds to the positive effect. And now people are seeing that slowly the whole village is developing. Okay, because everybody are now getting profit, and they are selling to each other, not only in their village, in the neighboring village, neighboring town. And so this village moves to progress or development. So this is a basic simple story to make a small child understand, but you should actually, as a UPSC student, go and see whether what are the schemes. Okay, what are the schemes, or what are the facilities which are provided in village, including the new digital internet facility being given everywhere, and all these things, so that people are changing from the same kind of life they used to live. Okay, because they were only cared about the daily sustenance, but that is not enough. They have to make profit, and everybody deserve to live a better life. Okay. So these are the final things, NCERT questions. If you see, whatever yellow I have highlighted, those are the keywords for UPSC. People as a resource, role of education, role of health, then these 3 sectors, economic and non-active economic activity, women employment and their low payment and all, then different types of unemployment, educated unemployment, maximum employment opportunity, how can you increase, what are the measures in education system which you can bring about, then these 4 factors: land, labor, capital, that is physical and human. Okay, so now these 3 questions, try to tell in comment section what is the answer, because this one is very easy because of the options. This is again easy, if you Google you will get it, and this one it was debatable, so that again in my 2021 playlist it is there. Okay, you can go and see now. So again I am telling, test series, if you are not enrolled, if you are interested, you can WhatsApp me. Okay, else it is okay, you can study from the free lectures, but always test series adds to the, or reduces the number of years which actually you take to clear prelims, because our test series has almost everything what is needed, and every year our students are giving the mains also. So that is why I'm telling, please see to it that you contact us if needed. Okay, this is the number to contact, and comment and like, so that I do the more videos on every playlist. Thank you and have a nice day.